Before we get into the video, quick shout out. I'm celebrating my birthday very soon, and it has become tradition that I'm live streaming the event over on Twitch. If all goes well, it's gonna be on the 4th of July as always, but to make sure you don't miss out on it, check out the description below to join the Discord or just follow me on Twitch right away. I might have a bunch of stuff to give away, I hope to do some community events if at all possible, and I might even do my placements, so I hope you guys wanna join. Anyway, let's get right into the video. If there was any doubt in your mind that Mercy is one of the most popular characters in Overwatch, then let me introduce you to the most recent debate. The Mercy Super Jump. It seems like every time anything Mercy related happens, period, the forums are lighting themselves on fire. I like checking a variety of social media platforms to get a read on how the community is feeling about the game, and I could barely find any other topic being discussed on the forums than this. Now, what is this about exactly? Let's call the kit by their name. It's a bug. Mercy can essentially launch herself fairly high up in the air at will by using Guardian Angel, and it seems like this is an unintended consequence of one of her ability reworks, of which Mercy obviously had a lot. I've been asked a couple of times what I think about this, and I didn't see myself make a video about it simply because I try to stay as far away from Mercy as possible, but considering how strongly this topic has been discussed on the forums, I feel like I might as well come out and give you guys my own 2 cents. But let's make sure we are all on the same page about this, and get the basics out of the way. First off, why now? Why is this suddenly such a big deal when Mercy has not been seeing any balance updates in quite some time? Catalyst for this whole dumpster fire on the forums is a clip from XQC in which he went completely mental upon getting bamboozled by a Mercy using this technique. And honestly, that should immediately tell you to take this whole discussion with a grain of salt. People are gravitating towards streamers whom they can connect with, whether they just find them entertaining or also largely agree with their opinions. Considering that XQC is one of the most well-known players in Overwatch, it should not surprise you that a lot of people came rushing on over to the forums to exclaim just how broken this super jump ability is. But that doesn't mean that you should blindly believe anything mentioned to the contrary either, because Mercy players have their own biases as well. Given how often Mercy has been in the Blizzard garage to be tinkered with, it is no surprise that a lot of Mercy mains are tired of seeing their character messed with. And even beyond that, most people are going to be biased in favor of their best hero. Same goes for me, but let's take a look at some of the arguments that both of these parties are bringing to the table. Pro argument number 1. Taking special text away also takes away from the complexity of the game. As it stands, the super jump is one of the few things that can distinguish good and bad Mercy players. For a character that, by design, does not have a lot of agency, having any type of skill gap is definitely a good thing. I, for one, have no idea how to do the super jump reliably. That immediately makes me an inferior Mercy player to somebody who knows how to do it. And don't be fooled for even a second into believing that this is an easy thing to do. It's an easy thing to mess up. Again, Mercy was designed as an entry-level hero who's very easy to get value out of, so taking away the one thing that is actually difficult to pull off just does not sit well with a lot of players. Counter argument number 1. Even if you call it a tech, it's still a bug, and as such it should be removed. Now, this one can be really cut and dry if you look at it a certain way. Blizzard does not like unintended mechanics. At all. I don't know why they always call the fun police on anything that was not deliberately programmed into the game, but fact of the matter is that they have a long history of removing special techniques if they were not an intended addition. The initial bunny hop tech for Mercy is a fantastic example of that. They didn't want it to be a bug, so they made it an actual ability, completely removing the skill element of it. But other heroes also have similar stories, like for example Lucio's wall skimming techniques, but even really simple things like Reaper's animation cancel. Blizzard is just really not a fan of any of these things, even when, competitively speaking, they are actually very healthy for the game. Pro argument number 2. Mercy has a hard enough time as is. Removing this would completely ruin her remaining viability. Honestly, the reason I find that hard to believe is because this has been said every single time Mercy has been as much as looked at by the developers. And yet, she's being played. The problem I have with that statement specifically is that a lot of people making that argument are disregarding the niche that Mercy is supposed to fill. She's a pocket healer. Her HPS does not qualify her to heal massive HP pools, making her unsuitable for the job of a 2019 main healer. That means that even if that tech was to be removed, she could still perfectly fill the niche that she was designed to fill. Counter argument number 2. The super jump is completely overpowered and makes her impossible to hit. There are two sides to this actually. For one, the claim that super jumping makes you easier to hit because you are then flying in a predictable trajectory, and the other one that claims that the sudden, almost jerking movement and sudden altitude change makes it even more difficult to hit unless given optimal range. Now, I don't think it's really as powerful as some of these people make it out to be. Is it annoying? Yes, of course. But if it was that overpowered, we would have complained about it before XQC did. It's been like that for a while. Though it is worth mentioning that there are two reasons why Mercy is a difficult target to hit in general. For one, it's her small hitbox, but also Overwatch has some very serious hit detection problems. I'm not an expert, so I can't tell you where it comes from exactly, whether it's lag compensation or whatever else, but fact of the matter is that the game is not a big fan of movement-based abilities. Most of the mobility in the game messes with hit detection in an environment where the netcode is already not great in the first place. So that's why characters like Mercy and Lucio are even more difficult to hit than they have any right to be. And with that said, I think I'm ready for my conclusion. But before you hear my opinion, please do me a favor and leave a comment down below telling me whether or not you think that the super jump should be removed based on the arguments I've presented so far, just so I can get a bit of a read on it. So first and foremost, saying that a character has or has not seen XYZ amounts of balance updates should not exclude them from any further updates if deemed necessary. Heroes in Overwatch are not held in a self-contained power ecosystem. The relative effectiveness of a hero is dependent on outside factors, including the map you are playing, the composition your team chose, and the heroes you are up against. As such, their relative power can also greatly vary with the addition of new heroes. So even without touching them specifically, buffing, nerfing, or adding other heroes can change their relative effectiveness in the meta. With that said, it would be a stretch to suggest that this particular bug is skyrocketing Mercy's viability at this current point in time. It's a little more than an annoying thing you have to deal with. However, I am not entirely convinced that it is going to stay in the game simply because of the fact that, as we have discussed, Blizzard does not like unintended techniques. So expect either a straight up removal or an implementation as a basic ability that removes every skill element of it. Honestly, asking me whether or not I believe that this should be removed is like asking me if I like blue cheese on my Big Mac. What do I care what kind of cheese you put on it when I already don't like McDonald's in the first place? I simply don't like Mercy as a character. I don't believe she's a healthy addition to the game, and I would not shed a tear if she was removed entirely. People are gonna hate hearing me say that, but for the sake of context, you should probably know that I freaking despise that character. So here you go. That's as much of an assessment as I could provide without straight up saying that I don't care about Mercy one way or another. I hope you got something out of today's video, and if you enjoyed it, then let me know by dropping me a like on your way out, and consider subscribing if you want to see more. Also, feel free to connect with the community by joining the Discord, which you can find down below. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time.